just you and me forever.
Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah! Oh,
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring,
no. With this ring,
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
Hello and welcome to With This Ring, episode 60. So we are into our 5th year. I am your co-host, Ryan Everett.
I'm Cindy Everett.
Yep. And so we have arrived at 5 years.
Yeah.
Last 2, we've been doing the sort of time warp back 25 years into the past.
Yeah. I liked 1998. That definitely was the height of Degeneration X and all sorts of...
The rise of Steve Austin as the main...
The Rock, Steve Austin. And now, I mean... Spoiler alert to my feelings, but it's starting to kind of taper.
Yeah, I think most people would say early 99s where stuff starts to taper off a little bit, but then when we get into 2000, there will be a
little bit of a bump. It's nice to see Edge and Christian. Like, I know they'll be kind of carrying us into the next millennium, but right now it's a little kind of
there's definitely kind of a pattern that's hitting, but something happens going in over the period of the next pay-per-view that will dramatically change the direction of the company.
Yeah, it's stale. That's the word I'm looking for.
It has gotten stale, yeah.
Okay. Because now it's just Linda and Vince McMahon getting beat up. And
so that's
what's going to happen then?
That's where we came, where we started.
Yep.
Here we did it a little bit after SummerSlam 99. On our last one, but we started with the Raw, and this was... So in September Raw... There was always a Raw in the middle of September that would be big because the first 2 weeks were usually postponed due to the U.S. Open, which is not a problem anymore with ESPN holding that contract.
Right.
So the September 14th-ish Raw, it's right around there. It was always a big-time Raw because it was going to be live.
Interesting.
It wasn't going to be, Saturday or late at night. It was something was going to happen usually. And here it is Triple H... As originally Linda McMahon comes out and says he has to face Steve Austin.
Right.
He deserves his rematch from SummerSlam. But then Triple H points out that Steve Austin tried to kill him on SmackDown, which was true.
Yes.
So he gets arrested. And then Triple H comes out at the end of Raw to demand that Linda says she won't make him face Steve Austin again in the future when he gets this little thing evened out with the law.
Yeah, so it's just getting more convoluted too.
Yeah, so... And she says no, so then Triple H is about to attack her. That's when Vince McMahon comes out for the first time in about 2.5 months since July.
Okay.
And actually is a face. And he's definitely getting face pops because he's going against Triple H, and he comes in the ring and yells at him that he agreed to stay out of business, but this isn't business, you son of a bitch. And gets right in Triple H's face, and then Steve Austin comes out and attacks Triple H, and it went a lot longer than I thought. I thought Steve Austin came out in 30 seconds after Raw went off the air, but it's a 5-minute fight between them, and then even afterwards on the network broadcast, they had another 5 or 6 minutes of a fight. So
it was long.
Yeah. What would you think of Vince McMahon's return?
I mean, he's always... I don't know.
Yes.
I have a strong opinion. I'm kind of numb. I'm just not holding my attention.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just feels stale. It's the same kind of plot lines
this is really hitting you over the head that Triple H is important.
Right.
Is the big thing I think that they're getting at this point. And then the next SmackDown, Triple H says that he's going to fight someone who Steve Austin has main evented a pay-per-view against.
Okay.
So there's all these, is it going to be The Undertaker? Is it going to be The Rock? He ends up calling out Vince McMahon.
Yep.
And also at this point, the referees are on strike.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Because
why?
The Raw before, there was a big match where all the referees started getting attacked.
Gotcha.
And even Earl Hebner comes out and he just runs away from them, and then in the main event, he gets attacked. So... There's a pet alligator wearing a Chiefs hat.
Yep.
And
That thing looks terrifying. Oh my god. Why would you have a pet alligator?
Because you live in Kansas City.
That's a terrible idea.
Or the hinterlands of Kansas City,
That's still a terrible idea.
So the referees are on strike. They want better treatment. They don't want to be beat up every match, even though that's kind of
their job.
What you get as a wrestling referee, especially if you're going to be in main events. And so Shane McMahon comes out to be Triple H's special referee, and he calls out Vince.
Of course, yeah.
And Triple H goes back into his DX bag and makes fun of Vince McMahon's penis a lot to egg him onto a fight.
Right. Oh yeah, he was definitely egging him on.
And then eventually the fight happens, and Vince gets a few shots in, but eventually it's just Triple H killing him for like 8 minutes. Until Steve Austin comes out, of course.
Right, that's the thing. It's like we've seen this before many times.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of Mick Foley winning the belt, although at least there was a match before that.
Yeah, right. I want to see more of the Mean Street Posse. If I had to put the McMahon, I want the Mean Street Posse to be involved. Like the best part of the McMahon family.
Yeah, well, they're kind of now shunted down the mid card into just still battling Test and trying to get that whole thing called off because now Shane McMahon has turned face and is okay with Test marrying his sister, so
right, obviously,
yeah. So, yeah, Vince McMahon is your world champ, and then the next Raw, he immediately relinquishes the belt, says he doesn't. It was just a one-time thing, but then Steve Austin comes out and says that it's no fun without him, so he reinstates him because that was, of course, the one way he could get back in.
Right, obviously,
to the business was if Steve Austin himself reinstated him.
They're very convoluted corporate.
Yeah, they have some odd contracts. And they could all be signed in blood, also, which is
that's binding.
Yeah. So, and Steve Austin agrees to let him back in as long as he gets a title match after Unforgiven.
Okay.
But Steve Austin will also be the referee in the main event match at Unforgiven.
Right.
So that's a lot, and then also we have. The co-biggest storyline going on is the Big Boss Man El Snow saga.
Yeah.
As we saw, we saw the Big Boss Man ground up and fed
pepper
to El Snow. Yes,
which is gross for a lot of reasons.
And then after that, on a random SmackDown to open the show, the Big Boss Man offered a challenge to any dog in the company, and the British Bulldog made his return.
Oh, okay. So that's how it came back.
That's how it came back, yes.
All right. Why? What was the backstory?
So, the British Bulldog, they signed him earlier in the year. And he was still getting, he was still in the hospital from WCW. He broke his back.
Ooh.
And the Ultimate Warrior's trick door in the ring.
Okay.
That they didn't tell any of the wrestlers that was there.
Oh, no.
So, he broke his back on that, taking a powerbomb, and then while he was laid up, they signed him. WWF signed him. And during that time in between, Owen Hart died. But then he still wanted to come to WWF, and there became a big thing like how the family members that were against the WWF claimed that they were just trying to cash in on the WWF and they were just trying to screw up any lawsuits against Owen. And then they had this big interview on the website, the British Bulldog did, explaining why he was returning and how he wanted to come back and win the title and dedicate it to Owen. And then they were told they could never air that.
Really?
It was pulled 4 days later.
Oh, jeez.
Because that was when Martha Hart, Owen's widow, filed the lawsuit and stuff. So they were oh, we can't mention him anymore.
No.
So yeah, so that turned it into a different storyline where he just wanted to come back and win the world title.
Right.
So he beats the Boss Man for the hardcore title and then just hands it to El Snow.
Right.
Because El Snow is very upset about his dog being killed.
Right. No one else can be a hardcore match except El Snow.
Right. Or the Big Boss Man.
Right.
And then El Snow comes up with a match called the Kennel in Hell, where it'll be a steel cage match.
Yep.
With the Hell in the Cell surrounding this cage.
Right.
Which sounds cool in and of itself.
Yeah.
And also, Pepper was 1% Rottweiler. And there will be Rottweilers running around the ring. And that causes some problems when we get there.
What did they think was going to happen?
I don't know.
I thought, well, we'll try it.
And they did have one segment where the Boss Man was in full body gear and the dogs chased him, but they didn't have that for this match, which would have made more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So we get to Unforgiven itself. the pay-per-view. And again, this is Charlotte, North Carolina, so they're still
Ric Flair country.
Yeah, walking in WCW country and just kind of pronouncing themselves kings of the mountain.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, yeah.
And so we have the SCAB referee story going all throughout the night.
Oh yeah, the referees are outside picketing.
Yes, yes. So we have the Brooklyn Brawler, Tom Pritchard, and
these names, the refs.
Yes, Jim Dotson, the security guard. Yeah, the SCAB refs. Harvey Whippleman is in, although he was actually a referee for a while, so I don't know when he left the referee union or not. But so our first match is Val Venis versus Steve Blackman. And this was a feud that started because Steve Blackman started hitting Val Venis with all of his weaponry, and
kind of he's doing to
Ken Shamrock, but not as murderous, just kind of.
Oh yes, Ken Shamrock in this.
So we'll get to him with the Chris Jericho match.
Okay.
And then at one point, Val Venis switched Steve Blackman's bag of weapons for a bag of vibrators.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah, this is a very ho-hum.
Yeah, very
match.
short. Val Venis wins, but then Steve Blackman gets in a cheap shot. Kind of devolves. Yeah,
quickly. So Steve Blackman hits him after the match, and apparently it's such a good kendo shot that paramedics have to come out, including this buxom.
Oh, that's right.
This buxom EMT that starts showing up regularly. I guess she follows the WF now. Like most EMTs do.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And Steve Blackman goes after her, but then the security guard takes him down.
Right.
And it seemed like it was going to become, the security guard was going to become a wrestler for a while, but he did not. He was good friends with The Undertaker and was a former wrestler, so.
Okay. Wrestling adjacent guy.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So, and then it was Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown.
Yes.
Though now they were BFFs, now they're enemies.
Yes, for the European title.
Yeah.
That Mark Henry was, again, handed by Jeff Jarrett. A lot of handing of titles at this point.
Geez.
Yeah, and this is another. It's 9 minutes, so it's some time, but.
Oh yeah, Tom Pritchard's blue jogging pants are really throwing me off this whole time. Did he not have any black pants to wear?
Well, maybe that was just the most comfortable pair of pants.
All right, that's fair. I can respect that now.
Mankind's wearing those same type of blue pants at this point in time, so maybe it was just the standard.
They were ahead of their time.
Uniform wear.
Yeah, they're ahead of their time with their jogger pants.
Yeah, so D'Lo wins clean, kind of getting the European title back on the European champion, as it should be.
Yeah. But Mark didn't want to fight at first.
Right, at first Mark Henry claimed that he had laryngitis. And Jerry Lawler thought that was the funniest thing ever, that he was claiming that.
Gotcha.
And next we have Jeff Jarrett with Miss Kitty now.
Yes,
So the night after SummerSlam, Jeff Jarrett decided that since Deborah did such a good job at SummerSlam that she needed an assistant, and it's Miss Kitty.
Obviously. And
it's Stacy Carter is her name. She was in Memphis for a while. She's Jerry Lawler at the time's fiance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who, she met Jerry Lawler when she was 18, of course.
Yep.
So, but here she was like 28, so they've been around together a while at least.
Okay. All right, that's
a
little more credit than I thought initially when you first said that.
So she is introduced to this group, and Chyna answers an open challenge for Jeff Jarrett for the IC title. So then Jeff Jarrett turns into like super misogynistic,
obviously
attacking. With this, where we finally see the fabulous Moolah and Mae Young come back into the timeline, and Jeff Jarrett just attacks them.
That was funny,
and gives. I think he hits Moolah with a guitar and locks Mae Young in the figure 4.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, obviously, Chyna's not like very.
Yeah, Chyna's not. Like, I think at the time people were just like giving her a pass, but she's not a good wrestler.
No.
Like, it's pretty bad.
Right.
But this man, like at this point, Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young run in and get involved and just get knocked out by a double clothesline, though. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then earlier, the week before, Jeff Jarrett had attacked Deborah. So then Deborah comes out and hits Jeff Jarrett with the guitar, and Chyna pins him to win the belt.
She got there a little too early.
Yeah. Chyna's Deborah's kind of just standing on the apron waiting.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that compelling of a match anyway. So.
Right. And that, but
hopefully the match is perfect until Deborah ruined it.
There was some funky spots before
flaws,
that.
Yeah.
But then head SCAB referee Tom Pritchard, he is also the head SCAB referee, even with his blue pants, comes out and shows the replay, and because of that, the match is changed to a disqualification victory for Jeff Jarrett. So that feud must continue.
Oh, great!
More Chyna, don't worry.
Wait. I've May Young and Moolah going to be there too?
They'll be tangentially involved still. Not really in this. They kind of.
Can they have the two of them ever go against Briscoe and
Patterson? No, not really. The only time we get that is like goofy backstage skits where they start making out with the two groups.
Okay, well,
just because I'm sure Vince McMahon thinks it's hilarious to have Pat Patterson kiss Mae Young.
I'm sure. Yes.
For plenty of reasons.
Right.
And then next we get the Acolytes against the Dudley Boys. So this is the first we see of the Dudley Boys.
Okay, I must have fallen asleep during this one because I have no notes.
Well, that tells you about what you need to know about this one. Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's
nothing to add to this.
I mean, it's an Acolytes tag match where they just use their power moves against the Dudley. There's some decent like clubbing and brawling going on, but it's not like a hardcore match, so it's not really playing to either of their strengths.
Okay.
And like I said, this is the Dudleys that appeared right after SummerSlam.
Yeah, they're
came in from ECW and in ECW they were like the top tag team.
Okay, I guess
heels, and they're kind of regressing here because when they left ECW, like they just cut these big promos before the match that would like get them. The crowd would almost riot and stuff, and now they're back to originally when they first started. Bubba had like a stuttering gimmick, and they're going with that because Vince McMahon stuttering is just hilarious. Ugh. He loves that storyline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially a big guy that stutters.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yes. So the Netflix series comes soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Acolytes win.
How many episodes is the series?
I'm not sure. It's kind of under wraps still.
All right.
Well, but this was kind of like also the Dudley Boys like test.
Oh, okay.
Because like the Acolytes were like the tough guys in the locker room that we're going to see if they'd rough them up, how they would respond to it, and they responded fine. Obviously, the Dudleys still show up every once in a while, so obviously they pass.
Yeah, what was the screen test they were getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any notes about this.
Yeah, and then how did you feel about the Ivory Luna hardcore match?
I mean, once again, that when Moolah and Mae West come out, Mae Young, not Mae West. That'd be a good match. So Luna Ivory, there was a hardcore women's match.
Yes.
I said they're both better wrestlers than Chyna, at least. I mean, yeah, like I didn't have high expectations, and I think any sort of hardcore match is going to be hard to pull off. So good for them at least attempting it. So Tori gets involved. Ivory wins. Yeah, I said they did a good job for a tough format, but then Moolah,
very quick also, 3 minutes.
Right, but then Moolah and Mae Young come and beat Ivory up, and that was also really good.
Yes, that is the most entertaining bit, I would think.
Oh yeah, they were the scene stealers for sure.
Yes, and then the New Age Outlaws are back together.
Yep.
And this didn't really have much explanation. The Rock and Sock Connection were the tag champs, and the week before this show on SmackDown, they were having an in-ring promo, and the Road Dogg came out for the first time in a while and challenged them to a match with Billy Gunn, who came back out. And
what happened to the Road Dogg?
He was injured by Chris Jericho for a little bit after SummerSlam. So he'd been out for like 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
It wasn't like
not like a long time.
Right. But yeah, they never really explained why the Outlaws got back together. It's kind of like, obviously the Billy Gunn singles push failed, and his best spot is just in the tag team, and that's where they put him again.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. They were a good tag team.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, a little stale by September 1999,
But yeah, a good match against Edge and Christian, I think. And this was kind of Edge and Christian leveling up still, like what we saw at SummerSlam. They were kind of getting more and more pushed now.
Right. And the Hardy Boys. So the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys.
Yes.
That's kind of confusing.
It gets a little bit.
It gets a little much, all the boys. So with that, the Hardy Boys interfere in the New Age Outlaw.
Yeah, because they're locked into always be Edge and Christian's rivals forever.
Yep, pretty much forever and ever. It was kind of quiet at first. I think the crowd didn't really care.
Yeah, I think, well, the Outlaws, again, had
Right.
just reunited, and Edge and Christian are still kind of
Newish.
getting, like, everyone knows who they are, but they're not really, I mean, they're faces, but not clearly faces, and
Gotcha.
people don't want to boo the Outlaws, so
Right.
it's kind of a weird face versus face match.
Face versus potential face. People still love the Road Dogg when he does his.
Oh yeah, they love. Yeah,
Children of all ages.
that's the thing with the Outlaws. They're always much more over before the match than
Right,
during the match.
As soon as you hear, "Oh, you didn't know," everyone like loses their mind.
But then after Suck It, there's not much to do.
Yeah, it's all downhill when the match starts.
Yes.
Oh man.
And speaking of downhill,
Yeah.
so next we have El Snow versus the Big Boss Man, and the problem for one thing is like. The setup for the match looks cool, but it takes a while to set up because they have to set up the cage itself, and you don't have. I mean, you have El Snow and the Big Boss Man to set it up, so it's not that great of a. And then, so El Snow comes out first, then the Big Boss Man, and the Boss Man teases not getting in the ring, and the dogs are, I think, late to get out there.
They are, yeah, because they start the match, then the dogs come out, yeah.
And then. The one dog, as soon as it gets in the cage, is peeing. I think it was peeing like the whole way up the ramp, probably. Then, yeah, it's just and like these two have had.
It's just bad. It was boring.
Yeah, they've had okay hardcore matches, but here they can't walk all over the place because they're stuck in this two cages, and like the Hell in a Cell before this was the bad Undertaker Boss Man at WrestleMania. But before that, it's the Mankind match, which had, two of the most famous. So this, doesn't feel the same at all, importance-wise. And, yeah, it just kind of meanders around for 11 minutes.
Jeez, that's long.
And, yeah, there's nothing going on. The dogs are humping each other and barking at each other.
Yeah, dogs don't care about this match at all.
And even, the dogs don't even, the end, El Snow kind of, he gets head. He finds head that had been missing for a while.
Right.
Obviously. After Prince Albert nailed a railroad spike through its head, because that makes sense.
Right.
And El Snow hits Bossman with head, and then just kind of slowly, very slowly,
gets out,
meanders his way out, and then even after the match, the Bossman slowly figures a way out because the dogs are too busy crapping or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think they wanted the dog, like you said, they wanted the dogs to be like the lumberjacks.
Yeah.
If they try to get out of the match, they wanted the dogs to
And they did at one point have El Snow's kind of hanging above, and they tried to have a spot where the dog's nipping at its heels, but it didn't really work then either. And then, so there is another version of the match, which we didn't get a chance, time constraints, but on Mick Foley's DVD, him and Kevin Kelly, another the C-level announcer,
do
commentary over the match.
Okay.
But they're making it seem like the most melodramatic thing ever. It's pretty good because this match was widely regarded as one of the worst matches of all time. Which I don't think it is, but the in-ring action isn't that level, but all the stuff around it I think is what really raises it
or lowers it.
Lowers it to that level. Yeah, so just bad.
Yeah.
Bad. And next we have X-Pac against Chris Jericho, which is unusual because as far as recently as the SmackDown before this, Chris Jericho had been feuding for 3 weeks with Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, so what happened
So the SmackDown before, Chris Jericho challenged Ken Shamrock to a First Blood match.
Okay.
And came out in his full hockey gear. And Ken Shamrock with bleeding. Well, where's he going to bleed from?
Ken Shamrock?
Yeah.
The forehead?
No, where does Ken Shamrock?
Oh, the mouth.
Yes, he's going to have his internal bleeding because one time in 1997 he actually did have internal bleeding.
Ugh.
So now he wants to do it all the time. So they do that angle and they end up saying that he injured Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock is actually never seen in the WWF again.
Really?
Yes, because originally he wanted to leave to go back to, he wanted to try mixed martial arts again.
Okay.
And he was it's kind of now or never for him because he was 35 or so at the time. So they let him go, and then after that his contract just kind of lapsed, and they never brought him back, and he never really wanted to come back. So it
Really?
was kind of odd that
Fizzled
a
out.
2-year career and he's out.
Yeah. Like a very highly visible 2-year career too.
Yeah, he was never
right. Yeah, he
below like Intercontinental level or above, you know.
What, and like he had never came back? He's never come back?
No, he's never come back, even for like a Rumble appearance or something. One off on Raw. He does have his Legends deal though, because they do every once in a while release a figure of him.
Okay, well,
so
I was gonna say, I'm sure if they must not be offering him enough money, or he really.
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised at like the early 2000s when Kurt Angle started using the ankle lock. Also,
right,
that would have been like a really good match plus it would have made sense, like an Olympic gold medalist versus against the MMA fighter.
Yeah, this crazy juice MMA fighter.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
All right, so he's out.
Yeah.
Did they explain it in like the storyline?
The storyline is just that Chris Jericho injured him.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I mean,
pretty weak. I mean, did you kind of catch on what happened?
I mean, it was pretty reported that like he had decided that he wanted to go back, so it was kind of everyone in the know knew what was going on.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
As the kids say.
And then this match just kind of Chris Jericho was gloating about on Heat.
YK?
Yes.
It took me a long time to figure out what that meant. All right.
And Chris Jericho was gloating about how he had run off Ken Shamrock, how he had injured the Road Dogg weeks before, and that's when X-Pac comes in. It's like, hey, Road Dogg's my friend, and I'll wrestle you. And this was, again, like kind of like with the Acolytes with the Dudley Boys. X-Pac was kind of seen as like the measuring stick for singles wrestlers. Like, if you could hang with X-Pac, you can hang as a singles guy. So this was kind of a test for Chris Jericho to see.
He was in WCW before this, right?
Right. But now can he wrestle WWE style, which is all different.
Is it?
Partly, especially for him, like because he was a cruiserweight in WCW, and here he's expected to be like a heavyweight.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, that is different.
So yeah, and it's an okay match. It's kind of there's something going on in the crowd. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Yeah, like there's a few times where the crowd is all looking to one side, and like Chris Jericho just takes X-Pac down in a headlock, which is what they tell you to do if that's happened. Like if the crowd's too preoccupied with something, just kind of wait it out. But it kind of drags down the match itself.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what was happening.
Yeah, and also at this time, Chris Jericho has Curtis Hughes with him.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hughes, who was a wrestler in the WWF in 1993. His big thing was that he wore sunglasses. That's his staple is that. Yeah. And now he's updated for the 90s by having Chris Jericho's little sparkly vest.
Yeah. and
he's
Chris Jericho's still got his Pebbles ponytail.
Right, yeah. And this pairing doesn't last long. Curtis Hughes is fired a few weeks later because people see him passed out at a show.
Oh.
They figured it was a drug thing. Turns out he has narcolepsy.
Oh.
And would just fall asleep like...
Wow. That's fine.
He wasn't like...
Not like the middle of a match.
There was times like when he was backstage and he would just pass out.
Jeez. Huh.
And then we get to the main event. So we have Triple H against the Big Show, Kane, Mankind, The Rock, and the British Bulldog.
Right. So who's cooked up this scheme?
So,
it's bad.
Like I was saying, the Raw where Vince McMahon returned.
Right.
Before that, there was a 5-way match between Big Show, Undertaker, Kane, Mankind, and The Rock. The winner of that would be the number one contender. During that match, they all attacked the referee.
Okay.
So it was decided that the title match at Unforgiven would be a 6-way match.
Okay.
Because they couldn't figure out a number one contender. But then the SmackDown before, which I kind of wanted to watch for Matt Makovich's own edifice, but we just couldn't work it in. It would have been too long. Triple H has 5 matches.
Oh my gosh.
And he had to win 3 out of the 5 to get into the 6-way match.
Okay.
So first he has a Inferno match against Kane.
Okay.
And supposedly these were all, other guys' specialty matches. Kane was 0-3 in Inferno matches going into this.
Jeez.
And Triple H is wearing underwear. Kane is wearing his full bodysuit. So I think you can guess who burns in that.
Right.
It's Kane, obviously. So Triple H is 1-0.
Okay.
Next is a chokeslam match against the Big Show.
Okay, yeah, I see what's going on here.
The Big Show wins with a chokeslam.
Right.
So it's 1-1. And then Vince McMahon orders The Undertaker to take Triple H on in the coffin match.
Okay.
And The Undertaker says, no, I don't want to. So Vince McMahon says, well, you have to. And The Undertaker says, well, I don't want to work here anymore, and walks out.
Ooh.
So The Undertaker's gone now.
Okay.
Like, for quite a while. We won't see him for a long time.
Interesting. Yeah, so changes are coming.
So then they have Minnie and Viscera face Triple H in a casket match, which Minnie and Viscera win.
Really?
Because, well, Triple H wins it, but then Shane McMahon comes out and says you have to get both of them in the casket at the same time.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
So Triple H loses that, so he's 1-2, and he has to win his last 2 matches.
Obviously.
First is a Boiler Room match against Mankind.
Oh.
Which he wins because someone attacks Mankind and throws him off a balcony of some sort.
Obviously.
And then the final match is The Rock versus Triple H in a Brahma Bull rope match, which The Rock has never, it's not his specialty match. He's never had that match.
Like a rope match?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they had one fully loaded, but
right, like a long time ago.
it's the same,
in a rope
and
match.
it's not the Rock's match. But the British Bulldog offers to be referee for this match because no one else wants to or something. But if he is the referee, he wants to be in the title match at Unforgiven because this was after The Undertaker had walked out, so they had an open spot.
Gotcha.
So the British Bulldog's the referee, and he turns against The Rock and helps Triple H win.
Oh, okay.
So Triple H is in the match. It's 6 guys. Steve Austin is the guest enforcer. Referee Jimmy Corderas is the referee because he crossed the picket line.
Yes.
He's got a young kid at home. He's got to worry about that.
He's got to get that paycheck.
Yep. Scab referee here. So, 20 minutes.
Okay, never mind.
All right. Yeah. 20 minutes back and forth. A lot of interesting things here. Bulldog is juiced out of his mind.
He really is.
I think that's how he got out of the hospital. He just took all the steroids and was like, I'm very healthy now.
It's like, my body has recovered.
Crazy how that happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He looks,
So what did you think of the match overall?
I mean, kind of ended how it, well, like I said, we were watching that. Yeah. Until Steve Austin gets up.
Right, yeah. You knew it was, Steve Austin commentates the first 17 minutes of the 20-minute
right, and
match.
then well, I thought it was kind of funny how the referees
the scab refs, or all the refs come out and attack Jimmy Corderas.
Yeah.
And then Steve Austin comes up over and beats up the referee, which kind of makes their point that they should be respected and not beat up. But yeah, so that happens, and then the Bulldog attacks The Rock again. And Triple H, or the Bulldog hits The Rock with a chair.
Right.
Austin comes in, sees the Bulldog with a chair, so he takes the chair and hits the Bulldog with it. But then sees Triple H pinning The Rock, and he has to count the 3 and announce Triple H as the winner.
Yeah, a lot going on. But I mean, I don't know, I'd like a little bit of a tighter main event. Yeah,
I think it was kind of one of those shows where they didn't have any idea on what to do, so they're like, let's just throw all the best guys in the main event. Like, I mean,
kitchen sink
all 6 of them kind of belonged. Like Kane had gotten really pushed up this month. Big Show was.
Well, why don't they give them all their own matches, or do more tag teams throughout this and cut some of the crappy ones?
I think they just kind of didn't want to come up with a singular. They still wanted to focus on Steve Austin versus Triple H, but Steve Austin's still kind of injured.
Gotcha.
So they did.
Just whatever.
Yeah, they just need kind of a holdover and gives Triple H another title reign, which helps his count go up.
Yep. Yeah, they're definitely pushing Triple H.
And then, so the next night, we watched This Is Your Life.
Oh, yeah.
With The Rock and Mankind, which...
Because Mankind turned on.
Yeah, Mankind did attack The Rock during the 6-man, was very upset about it. He felt horrible. He felt
very bad.
Yeah, so he wanted to make it up by showing The Rock this is his life.
Yes, obviously.
Involving his 6th grade home economics teacher.
It's been on for a while. It was pretty good for a while.
Yeah, the football coach and his high school sweetheart.
Yep.
And this is where we get Poontang Pie becomes the catchphrase. Yes, that's the first time he mentions
Jerry Lawler.
Oh, yeah.
One, yeah. Of course.
And even, the best part is JR's like, oh, I know that kind of pie. And Jerry Lawler's like, you know? How do you know? So, yeah, we got that whole thing. And then, of course, Yerple's there.
Yep.
And we got the Rock and Sock jackets, the Mr. Rocco.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like the sock.
And then the only problem with the segment is they had no idea how to end it.
Right.
So Triple H just kind of comes out and smashes the cake with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, might as well.
And this ends up being, well, there's some controversy because Undertaker Austin match after King of the Ring actually had the highest rated segment, but it was the after run.
Oh, okay.
This was the highest rated segment, like in the middle of a show.
Oh, really?
In all of the Monday Night Wars history. So, like, yeah, people who were watching Nitro were switching the channel and watching this. Since it was 27 minutes long.
Yeah, it was a long...
It wasn't just, the
segment,
normal commercial break that they would have had.
Right.
And apparently Vince McMahon was all upset at them because they went so far over their time. But then the next morning he couldn't really complain because the ratings came out and it was super high. So, yeah. So, yeah, and that was... The Rock and Sock Connection is back. They're back now. They're okay.
And every sign's going to say Poontang Pie.
Oh, yes. Now, yeah. The next day, I think, at that SmackDown, they had the Poontang Pie t-shirts out.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's like a cartoon... like a
what?
A Rock... A picture of The Rock, but he's also a bull.
Okay.
Like a cartoon version of him, but a bull with, like, his hair.
Okay.
Holding a big piece of pie.
Obviously.
That says Poontang Pie, and I forgot what it's on the back. Rudy Poo or...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, though. All right, so we're to our rankings. Unforgiven.
This not good.
Yeah.
This is going into the low, the mid. It's a solid, like, C-. I don't know, but having Mae Young say this, Moolah, that really brought it up for me.
So,
oh, gosh.
This year, the lowest we went was 6 for King of the Ring.
I'm going to give this one a 6.
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of similar in that nothing really on the mid-card, and the main event's okay, but not
right. There's no
all-time.
Other than the old lady wrestlers. A lot of redeeming qualities of this one.
All right, so for top 2 matches...
Can I put Mae Young and Paige Moolah beating up Jeff Jarrett?
You can put Jeff Jarrett versus...
No, that match is terrible. It's the end. Send the Luna... Okay, put the Luna Ivory one. It's the ending.
I'm sure that's the first time it's ever been mentioned as one of the top 2 matches.
Well, it's not because of them.
Right.
Well, first time for everything. This isn't going like in an official database, so...
Oh, it's this database.
This isn't a database. This is an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet.
Yep. I'm putting the main event top.
Yeah, I guess I'll put the main event. What's your second one?
I'd go with Jericho.
That's what I was going to say.
It's kind of...
Put that one for mine, Jericho.
Okay.
X-Pac. I was eyeing that one, too.
Yeah, it's a the only problem with it is, like, there's no real crowd heat because it's, like, was literally the angle was shot on Sunday Night Heat. There's something going on in the crowd, but it's fine for what it is. It's a good.
They're both good wrestlers.
It's the second. I think they knew what to do time wise for this show, at least where that gets the second most time. Just kind of let them anchor the first half of the last hour of the show, and then the main event has all the bells and whistles on it to take it home. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And that's where we'll end.
Okay.
For this one,
you kind of did a good tease at the beginning.
Yeah. October. Something happens in early October that it doesn't happen on screen, but it will. It definitely changes the trajectory of both WWF and WCW.
Is it Hulk Hogan?
No, but
is it something he does off screen?
Not yet, but he is involved in this eventually, but not quite. Yeah.
Interesting.
But we'll talk about that on our next show, which will be No Mercy 1999 from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
and
Arena.
Features what many would call the match of the year. So we'll see.
Oh, you're really hyping
if you're excited for that. Yes. And I have a feeling you'll be a fan of the match as well, knowing you're kind of...
Is LeBron James there?
No, LeBron. Well, he might have been there. It's not the 2003 Raw where they show him front row with his flip phone taking photos, but he might have been there. He would have been what?
10th grade.
Yeah. Maybe Akron, St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
Yeah, got some good tickets.
Maybe. All right. Well, I'm very curious now.
Yep. But we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Well,
wait a second, Rock.
Listen, Jabroni, that's strike two. The Rock is done with your little silly jokes. The Rock's got stuff to do tonight, so hurry up and get this bull crap over with.
Hold on. This is not bull crap. Because, Rock, what I'm about to do is show the millions.
Uh-oh.
Don't you ever do that again.
Gimmick infringement. The Rock will meet Triple H tonight, and The Rock will have that home field advantage here.
It goes like this. In front of the millions.
That's the way it goes.
Okay. Well, I wanted to show them all a little different side of The Rock. A side that I, of course, as one half of the Rock and Sock connection, know pretty well. It's the sensitive side of The Rock. And Rock, I think that the following voice will spark that sensitive side. Go ahead and let's hear it.
Sensitive side.
Dwayne, can I please run my fingers through your hair one more time?
Whoa.
That's right, Rock. I pulled some strings, and here she is.
Who's that?
The Rock's high school sweetheart, Miss Joanne Imbriani.
Joanne who?
Rock, you know that
Polish?
Imbro, I used to call her, was your one true love. Now I present to you Miss Joanne Imbriani. I'm going to turn my back so you guys can share a special moment.
Nice teeth. Uh-oh. Rock's old high school girlfriend.
How you doing, honey? You remember every Saturday night back in high school how you and The Rock used to sit on your parents' couch?
Uh-oh.
And The Rock used to put his arm around you and we used to kiss a little bit. A lot of...
Tonsil hockey. Thumbs
We used
up.
to kiss a little bit. A lot of tongue. You used to love The Rock's tongue, didn't you?
I knew it.
Remember how you used to nibble on The Rock's ear, like on The Rock's neck? And you would whisper to The Rock? You used to whisper to The Rock, "Hey, Rock, go for it. Go for second base."
Oh, second base. He looks like a ball
Remember
player.
that? And as The Rock put his hand ever so gently on your knee, slid his hand up inch by inch.
Oh, boy. Rock's old high school girlfriend here on This Is Your Life. Thanks
And what
to
did
Mick
you
Foley.
do? You cut The Rock off on second base.
Uh-oh. You ever get picked off on second, King? Moses couldn't part her legs.
But The Rock's not the type of guy to hold a grudge. You see, you stand now before The Rock, looking at The Rock, gawking at The Rock, wanting to go one-on-one with the Great One.
She'd like it.
And now in front of all The Rock's fans, you want to serve The Rock a great big piece of that poontang pie?
What kind of pie was that? I don't know. Whatever it was, I'm sure she'd be willing to serve it to him. Piping hot. Homemade.
That's no secret. The Rock, he loves pie, but The Rock just has one thing to say to you. Poontang your ass on out of here.